Welcome back, you guys. I'm so excited for today's video because I finally got my Beauty Below palette. I've been gone all weekend, so I'm just now getting the chance to use it, but it's been on my mind the whole time I was away. This palette is so dark and gorgeous, and I feel so inspired by it. I cannot wait to create more looks with it. But if you guys want to see what I come up with, maybe hear my first impressions on this launch, not even just that, but I also picked up the liners from Glisten Cosmetics, and I already have some thoughts. But let's go ahead and get into it. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Heather, and I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe, stick around, come back. There's a Jack. Now, with all that being said, let's talk about the palette. This is absolutely stunning. The artwork is to die for. It's all like kind of raised and stuff. It just looks so freaking awesome. I love like the holographic detail as well. This also has 24 beautiful but deadly shades. We have 12 mattes and 12 shimmers, which is such a perfect ratio for me personally. And the palette retails for $45 before a code. I do not have one just yet, but I know tons of creators who do. I think Betty Jean has one, and Angelica, if you want to check out their channels. But I think this is stunning, and you guys know I love a grungy, dark, vampy kind of look, so this palette was truly right up my alley. So when I bought this, there was a bundle available where you could get both of these, and I think that bundle may be sold out because I'm not seeing it on the site. If I can find it on my computer, I will link it down below, but either way, this palette will be linked. I'll link both of them. But not only that, guess what else I got in? The new liners from Glisten. And I already have some thoughts on these so far, but I'm so freaking excited about these. You guys know I have been looking everywhere for colorful liners, and you can find liners like in drugstore. Urban Decay has some, but there's some colors that are really hard to find. And I mean like a color like this one is hard to find. The orange is so hard to find. Red is hard to find. So I'm so excited to have those as well. Let me give you guys some details on those. So these are called the Spectra pencils. I know they have the mascaras as well and all of these colors. They also recently launched the paints, the pressed powders. Like, they have a whole line. And if you are into that kind of makeup, I feel like this might be the best brand to go with. And I have tried their like graphic liners, their paint pots and stuff, and I really like, not their paint pots, their wet liners. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I really love them as well. So I bit the bullet on this one, and I picked up all of them in a bundle for $70, which is a lot of money, but you get 9 liners, which I feel like isn't bad at all. That puts them all under $10, which is not bad. And honestly, I probably should have just picked one up and tried it, but then I justified it by saying, well, if I do that, then I can't get the bundle, and I save money by buying the bundle. I know, I lie to myself, but these retail for $9 each. If you guys are interested, I'll have them linked down below, the site and where the pencils are at, so you can look and decide for yourself. But I am so freaking excited to have these. So far, I have just used one of the shades, but I do plan on using them throughout this video, and you know, within the next videos I will give you guys my thoughts on them soon. But I'm so excited to show you guys how I created this look. It was a journey, but we got here. So let's go ahead and move on to look number 1. I'm really excited to get into today's video because I have lots of fun things here that I've already tried out some, but I do want to share. So I want to tell you what's on my face, so we'll start there. So So for primer, I used the DENESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Glow Serum in the shade Fresh Pressed. I've been loving this. And I used my Sigma Skin Perfector Hydrating Tint. I love this. So I like to use this all over the face, and then if I have things I need to conceal, I'll spot conceal with concealer. I do have like 4 breakouts right now because we've been gone all weekend, and I have the e.l.f. balm, like the makeup remover, in my travel stuff, and I used that and it made me break out like really bad. So if you're someone prone to breakouts, I don't recommend that product, but I do love the way this looks on the face. I think it's so beautiful. I have mine in the shade Tint 2 and I love it very much. Okay, for powders, I did 2. I did the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder under the eyes, and then over the breakouts that I have, the here, and I have some here, and in my T-zone, I used this product. This is a powder foundation. I know a lot of you guys already know about it. I talked about it on my stories because I had to pick this up from CVS because this mascara that I've been trying from Lancome, it is the Flutter Extension. It got under my eyes like really bad, so if you deal with transfer, I don't recommend that product either. But I picked this up and it was my first time trying it. I got mine in the lightest shade. I don't know what it's called because I literally just ripped this off like an animal, which I don't know why I ripped the shade name off, but I do like this product and it looks beautiful on the skin. So happy to have that. It's really good to get a little more coverage in those areas as well. And for bronzer, I use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. It's one of my favorite bronzers. That's all I have left. And I'm so excited about it that I used it up. It still smells so fabulous. And I went over it with my Sigma bronzer. This one is matte and in the shade medium. I've been loving this. It's so easy to blend and work with. But for blush, I did one of the new duos from NATASHA DENONA. I've had this in my collection for a couple of weeks and I just now got around to using it. I think I might have used one of the shades once before, but this time I used just solely this one. This is in the shade Fresh Mauve and this is the High Blush. But I'm really loving this. I think it looks so beautiful on the cheeks. I'm excited to get some more use out of it. I keep almost having the hiccups, but it doesn't quite go through. So I keep like pausing, but this I'm so excited about. Do you see this? How wet looking it is, but it has that clear base. There is like a kind of purpley-ish tint like shift to it as well, but so gorgeous. So this is the collab between Unearthly Cosmetics and XANDER from Instagram. It's the highlighter shade Ooze and it's freaking gorgeous. Perfect shade name. Do you see that? So happy to have this in my collection. I'm so excited. So I had to talk about that. Then brows, I did the same brow products that I always use. My concealer is the YENSA. It's a favorite. The lips, so this is my Muted Mauve from ABH. It's like so tiny and cute, but I have to put the cap on the end of it so it's big enough for me to use, but it's one of my favorite liners. I mean, obviously. But I also picked up 3 of the new Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm Shimmers. I like the regular lip balm they have. It is kind of hard to get it out of the tube though, unless you warm it up like in your hands or something. If you keep it in a cold area, like in your car or something, if it's cold out, it's really hard to get out, but I love the product so much. So I'm super happy that they did this on the doe foot, and I think it looks so beautiful and juicy on the lips. Super excited about it. I had to tell you guys. Okay, something else I'm so excited about. I bought the full bundle of the Spectra liners and I was worried. I probably shouldn't have bought the full bundle. I should have just bought like 1 or 2 and tried them out. But you guys know how much I love colorful liner, and ColourPop has like discontinued all my favorites. Certain shades are really hard to find, like shades like this and the green and the orange. So I was like, what the hell? I'm gonna go for it. So I had to do an errand earlier and just drop my brother off somewhere. And I was like, I want to test these out. So I did orange on this side and green on this side. You can kind of still see the green there, but they stayed in the waterline. It wasn't for a very long time. I took it out after that with my cellar water, but they did stay. I have hope for these because I have super watery eyes, so I'm looking for something that is waterproof and will stay. And these are like really creamy and pigmented too, so we're gonna use one or two of them out today for today's look, and I'm so excited about it. But now let's get into the palette. Listen, the artwork on this, the packaging is so beautiful. You can kind of see how it's raised. It's just so stunning. And it does have some weight to it. I did pick up the L'Oreal palette, and this is so much heavier because the beauty below is magnetic, which I don't really care for that personally, but I know people who do like to build their own palettes like that, so I can understand why some people might like that. I did use this once on the trip that we just went on, and it's beautiful. I wanted it when it released, but I couldn't afford to pick it up at the time, so I'm really glad to have it now. And I'm excited to, you know, try it out when I have time in between filming and stuff, because I think it's gorgeous and these two would pair so well together. But this is what my eyeshadow loving dreams are made of. You guys know I love a dark, dramatic look. So today we are going to go all in, and I am so ready for it. I will say their shimmers are getting better and better with each release as well. I like their shimmer formula a lot more now than what I used to. I feel like they really started stepping it up, at least with the palettes that I have picked up. But with the Longing palette, I'm looking at it right now, I love those shimmers so much, and these ones are really stunning as well. This one, you know we're going to be using this today. It is the shade called Trance, and for good reason. It's so stunning. So I'm ready to dive in. I think it's going to be so fun. Part of me wants to just do these two rows and not use the shimmer, but all the other shades. But another part of me thinks if I do the purples in the crease and then do Trance on the outside of the lid and Lull and Slay on the inside, and then these two on the lower lash line, I think that could be really pretty. But I'm kind of going like back and forth on what I want to do. These shades here, this little quad is so stunning, and I like that she has this laid out to where you could just use the quads and do a gorgeous look. But if you want to mix it up, use the quads in the center and you really get something different. If you like the two-tone looks that I like, that's super fun as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. I need to start with my primer, and I've been loving this. I'm so glad I finally got a shade that works for me. So this is the Sigma eyeshadow base, and I have mine in the shade Persuade. And you guys haven't seen me actually demo this yet because I haven't fully edited that video. But I did get this sent to me in PR, which is so exciting. You guys know Sigma is one of my top favorite brush brands. I love them so much. And something else I've been realizing, so like during Black Friday, I bought the full brush set from Bella Beauty Bar. And I don't gravitate really to the eye brushes. Every now and then I'll need one. They're just not my preferred shape. But the face brushes, I love them. The only one I won't use is this one, and it's only because I don't use big powder brushes like that, at least not right now. But I really love these brushes. They're very precise, really great for cream products. This is one of my favorites. And then you have a flat kabuki brush. This one is really nice for powder products. This is good for bronzer. It's shaped a lot like this one that I used today from Lethal. And I do like those dome-shaped brushes, but these two are good, so good for creams. I love them. And this one I've been using for eyeshadow primer. and even like face concealing. So we actually got home last night. We were in Cleveland this weekend. We took our nephew to a show for his birthday. And Cleveland's so fast-paced now, guys. I don't know if I can handle the driving. People are so crazy. I used to work in Cleveland at the Amazon Fulfillment Center. It was rough, but it's like so fast-paced. We did have a lot of fun though, and he had a lot of fun, which was the whole point. Amanda did a great job planning all of that. But when I came home last night, I was exhausted. But I had like dry patches on my legs. My skin is like really dry right now, but it's kind of like down the inside of my thigh by my knees was like really dry, and I guess because it was like really cold. So I put some lotion on it that was Amanda's, and I didn't know like how long she'd had it or what. And instantly my skin started burning so bad that I had to like jump up and get in the shower and rinse the product off, and it wasn't even 5 minutes having it on my skin, and then it was burning so bad, but by the time I got it off, my skin was like welt so freaking bad. And I looked up the batch number on the product because it was Eucerin, and you can actually like check it on their site and tell me it said it was 8 years old. I'm like, oh, now it burnt. Like I have like huge nasty red welts on my skin. So this is your daily reminder to check your products. I need to start putting dates on my stuff for real, because that was rough. But with all that being said, I'm going to shut up and we're going to get into the makeup now. I want to start with these two shades, and I think that's all I'm going to do as for matte in the crease. And I still want to do a two-tone look, but I want to do it in a different way. So we're going to start with the shade Beckon. I just love how deep, dark, and smoky this palette is. I am about to be living my best life, and I'm ready for it. So I'm just going to use, this is the Singe Beauty E06, and I'm just going to press this through the crease. So I just want to press this in the crease and blend it out. I will tell you, I have not filmed in like 4 days, and it feels so weird coming back. I always get so excited to film though after a trip or something because I just miss it so much. But I missed an upload yesterday, and I really hate it when I do that. But sometimes it happens. So I'm going to switch to the Singe Beauty E03. Pick up a little more of that. Look how pigmented that is. And it's like nothing really comes off the brush when you tap it. And I love those kinds of formulas because you don't tend to get fallout as much. So I'm going to like try to keep it deep out here and then fade in to the light purple. Or at least that's the hope. If you don't like a dark dramatic palette, one, you could bring in other palettes. I know before I started filming, and even now when I do my makeup off camera, I like to mix palettes. So you could use it that way, or, you know, maybe this just isn't the one for you. Maybe you just needed some inspiration. And if that's the case, I appreciate you choosing me to inspire you. So I'm going to switch over to this brush. It's one of my new ones from Sigma, and I really like the shape of it. It kind of reminds me of like a hybrid between the E06 and the Glamlight brush that I really love. So we're going to give this one a try. It's a bit flatter, so it'll be good for packing, and you could use it on the side to blend. I'm going to switch over to, where are you? There you are. Singe Beauty E08. It's like a fluffier version of what we've been working with. But I'm going to use this to blend out the edges. I believe I may have put on a bit too much primer because it's a bit sticky. And that's not been my experience with it this far. I think I put on too much because I was yapping. Now I'm going to take the E27 from Sigma, and I just want to deepen up out here. This brush is a bit more tightly packed, and you see it really packs that color, unless I picked up the wrong shade, which I did. So I just decided to go in with Devour without even realizing that's what I was doing. But I was going to do it eventually anyways. But I just want to pack this in here in the outer corner. And I do want to take it part of the way through the crease. Like I said, we're going for dark. That's what this palette was meant for. I feel like anyway, in my opinion. Okay, so far I think that's good for the top. Now I want to work on the bottom. So I'm going to use this, I think it's the E04. Let me look. Yes, the Singe Beauty E04. And I want to go into the shade Dark Truth here, the deep green. And I'm just going to run this along the lower lash line. And I like to kind of take mine up into that corner, the outer corner. And I'm only taking it part of the way up there because I want to use this shade. Beware of the Mermaid. It's really pretty. And then when I use something for the inner part, it will join those two colors. I need something a bit more fluffy. So let's use, oh yeah, my favorite pencil brush. We'll do this. It's the E11. Really allows you to get so up close to the waterline. And then I will use, where's the other one? Yes, the E10, and use that lighter green, Beware of the Mermaid, to blend out. This look is definitely giving mermaid vibes, at least to me. Okay, now I like this. I think I want to smudge this lower lash line down a little more. So I'm going to use the number 5 brush from Unearthly. It's a bit more like wispy, while still being like detailed. And I want to bring this down just a little lower. Okay, so to kind of make these two shades work together and not look like two separate entities, let's go into this shade, Take Heed. And I'm doing that on the E11. You know, just do a little down here on the very outer part. And then I'll also do a little up here. I like to kind of wing it out a little as well. Okay, so I think this is it for the mattes, and I'm really loving the way this is winging out. I think it's so pretty, but I do want to use a glitter glue. I'm going to use the Shine On from Cleona and Bad to the Brow, and I just want to put a little dollop here, and then use my finger to kind of tap it out. So I put the glitter glue on, and I was sitting here looking for the palette, and it's right in front of me. I'm losing my freaking mind, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. But, what shimmers. So, I don't know. I wanted to do this one, but I don't think it goes with that lower lash line. So, I think I'm actually going to go in with the blue, the Irresistible shade. And then we'll do the purple, Lull and Slay. Those two, I think that could be super pretty. So that is what I'm gonna do. So let's start with the shade Irresistible. I mean, it really is irresistible in this pan. I think it's stunning. I'm drawn to it like immediately. It looks stunning. So I want to do that out here. kind of just tapping. I usually like to use my finger for shimmers, and then when I do the inner part, I most of the time will use a brush, especially when it gets too close. But now let's dig into this one. It's really pretty as well. I think this is going to be a fun combo. I wish there was more of a green, like a true green. I think that would have been really beautiful in this palette. I'm actually going to switch to the Singe Beauty E01, and because it picks up shimmers like so well. But I want to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus, just to get it to stay there. Like, look at the difference when you use a setting spray to spray your shimmers. I just think it looks so pretty. And those two like blend together like a freaking dream. And that pop of blue, I think it's really pretty as well. I mean, you do have this green, but I don't know. It doesn't go with the vibe that I was going for. Now, if you did the greens, like these two greens together, and maybe even used or do this in the crease, which is Murky Waters, deepen up with this one. You could even do some of this in the crease, the lower lash line. This shade would be really beautiful, especially with this one. It's stunning. We might do that actually in tomorrow's look. I don't know. So I'm going to use the new highlighter from Unearthly, and I'm doing that on an E30 pencil brush from Sigma. And I just want to pop this here in the inner corner. Maybe I should have taken that on the lower lash line instead of the purple to really help tie all this together. I probably wouldn't have used this highlighter today if I would have known that I wasn't going to use that, the green there, but I had all intentions of using that green. So maybe I should start saving my highlighter for after my eye looks, but I'm always so scared that I'll forget. Now, the question is, which liner? And I don't typically do liner on camera, but I think for the sake of like demoing these and stuff, I want to in this video. It just is weird to me when people do liner on camera. It kind of freaks me out a little. So the question is, which color? We have a dark blue and a light blue. Something about this look isn't right to me though. I don't know what it is. I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I think that inner corner highlight is wrong. So you know what? We're gonna go over it. I just can't. So I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and just go over my face. That way it kind of melts in any powder product that I've used today in this look. Because we're going to really test out the quality of this Lethal Dexter highlight, because I think this would go super well. And I could just use another blue one, but I've been wanting to use this so bad and nothing's like going with it right now. But let's just tap some on here. And I want to see if it like disturbs anything underneath. I think me having like eyeshadow stained on my fingers might be like messing with the color of this a little bit, like right here. But it is laying over top of that powder very nicely. Looks a little stripey though. I need to blend it in better, but I'm trying to be like really careful with it so I don't like disturb the product so much. So the Lethal highlight did go really well over top of that green. I mean, this highlight is stunning. And even though I did have certain parts of my face set, it did not disrupt any of the product underneath. Now, I want to change the inner corner situation, and I'm going to use my Glamlite Friday the 13th highlighter. This has been a favorite since it released. It's so stunning, and I don't use it nearly enough. Because, you know, there's only so many looks that call for a blue highlight. But this one is very pretty. So we're going to do that for the inner corner situation. And I feel like I almost did the other eye. I feel like it'll make more sense to me then, which it does. So now I kind of want to do a little zhuzhen up on this lower lash line. So I'm going to go into this shade, which really reminds me of Prance from ColourPop. But I want to do this and just turn this lower lash line situation a little more blue. I just didn't plan out a good color combo. But if anything from this video, you might learn how to fix an eye look when you're not happy with it. Instead of wiping it off and starting over. I used to be the queen of wiping it off and starting over, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I recommend following through because sometimes I found that I've created some of my favorite looks by just going, like keep going. It's worth it in the end, 9 times out of 10. But now, which liner? I'm thinking maybe we could do the light blue and the purple. I'll have to swatch them. Maybe one of these. These are pencil liners as well. You sharpen them, which I don't know about you. I do like that. I feel like they don't go as bad as quickly if it's a good formula anyway. And I like that you can sharpen them. Okay, so here we have the shade blue. And you could see like they're nice and creamy, not tuggy. They don't feel too creamy though. And then we have dark blue. And I mean, here I am drawing squigglies around the scratch my dog gave me. I did get a little, the tip came off, but there we have dark blue. I do have lotion on my hands as well, because when I swatch it, you see it's darker on this side. So let's swatch them over here on the side of my wrist. I'm trying to keep vitamin E oil on this scratch so that it does not scar. There those two are. Look how bright and beautiful. That is really pretty. And then we have purple, which is like a more pastel-y purple, which makes me so excited. And that looks beautiful as well. But what do we do? Usually I'll do like the shade that's in the inner corner, but I didn't do the two-tone look that way. So I don't know. I think I want to go with the light blue. I'm going to do it and we'll see what it looks like. And we'll go from there. Also, I do like the packaging of these as well. I think they're really pretty. I was so excited when I saw that they were releasing these in the new makeup releases video that I did. Like, you see how easily that's going in the waterline? I'm so excited about these, you guys. I have such high hopes. And I think that's pretty. I actually really like that. I love the contrast of this bright, beautiful, like, pop of color. It kind of goes with that pop on the lid. And then you have that deep, smoky lower lash line and outer corner situation. I think it's pretty. And sometimes I like to let my liner sit, and then if I want it brighter, I'll do a second coat later. But I'm super excited to have these, and stay tuned for my review on them. But I do think that is beautiful. So I'm gonna go finish this look off camera, fix my lip product. I've been over here like sneaking sips of my coffee. But I'm going to go finish this all off camera, and I'll be right back to share my thoughts and show you guys the finished look. So far, so good. I am back with the finished look, and I love the way this turned out so freaking much. It's the blue. The pop of blue is doing it for me. I did do another layer of the liner as well. and so far so good. It is holding up, but I do want to try like all of the shades before I share my thoughts, and I want to try them for longer times because with ColourPop I've noticed some of their liners are my absolute favorites, but they do have duds throughout the brand as well. So I do want to gather my thoughts on all of them before I give you like my final thoughts on them. Okay, so for mascara, I picked up the Firework mascara from Maybelline, and I have been loving this. I do have lashes on, but I like this a lot. And it may be my new current favorite. I have worn it out, and I've worn it for several hours in a day, and I've had no issues with smudging or anything like that. So far so good with this one. This is like my 4th time wearing it, but I like it so far. I think it's beautiful on the lashes. So I also did the bright lashes in the style Lush lashes, and I just think a makeup look looks so good with lashes. I love them so much, but I can't wait to hear what you guys think of this look. I know some of you have already gotten your palettes in and you've been creating looks and loving it yourself. But so far, I really am having a good time with it. I cannot wait to play with it again tomorrow. I can't wait to play with this one and play with them together. I would love to do a bingo, but I don't know. There's like so many things on my list that I've said I was going to do or I promised to do. I don't know how long it's going to be before I can get to it. And again, I'm really enjoying this as well. I think it's so freaking beautiful on the lips, and it goes so well with that lip liner. But let me know what you guys think of this one down below, and let's go ahead and move on to look number 2. I was just looking at Makeup on Your Radar's page, and the Man Eater palette from Unearthly Cosmetics is coming back in stock. I am so freaking excited. I've been wanting that one forever. I've been stalking like Mercari and eBay. So is Amanda trying to get it for me. But it's finally coming back, and I'm so freaking thrilled. I cannot wait. So I wish I would have checked my mail before I did my makeup today, because I got in 3 of the new NYX Buttermelt highlighters. They came out with 5 shades. I picked up 3 of them, which is a bit excessive, but they have some really cool colors. There's a bunch of different neutral ones, and then you have the purple, which I'm excited for, and I picked up this more like yellow one, which would be gorgeous on a warm skin tone, but you know, I had to go for this one as well. So this is BUTTERMELT, and then we have No One Butter. The shade names are ridiculous, but they make me laugh. And then we have Butter Than Gold. So I do have on highlighter, but I think I want to go over top with this. I have to, but I'm going to swatch these for you as well. So I also want to show you what's on my face before we get into all of that. So I finished up this tube of the e.l.f. Skin Sun Touchable Woe Glow SPF. I love that so much. I should probably wait to throw that away though, because I like to film a video and then I will put everything like in this basket that I used, and I'll write it all down in a notebook. That way it's like really easy for me to make links. So I know a lot of you have your own channels. Let me know how you do all that. I would love to know your process, because maybe you do it easier than me. But I also used the REM Beauty Foundation. I love this. This is my second one. I enjoy it a lot. And then I have the YENSA concealer again. I did the DENESSA MYRICKS powder like on parts of my face, but under the eyes I did the Charlotte Tilbury. I did this first, and I don't think I let my concealer sit long enough because it really darkened underneath my eye. So I also used this under the eye as well. This is the Sigma Duo, and I used it on these bumps too. Speaking of the bumps, I told you guys, I'm pretty sure I told you yesterday in the last look that the e.l.f. makeup cleansing balm broke me out, and it's so bad. Like I have one there, like there's little ones all over my face. It really got me. But now my eye right here is really swollen, and I think I might be getting a sty. But I had to finish this makeup look. I mean, I had to do another look with this palette, so I'm just pushing through, but I really do not recommend that product at all. So for bronzer, I'm still testing out the one from Revolution. This is the cream bronzer, and I have mine in the shade Light. So far, I am enjoying that product, but it is new to me. And for blush, I did two. I did my Blush Draping Moment. I did the shade Kind and the shade Nurture. I did, like, you know, the deeper one out in the back, and then the lighter one more towards the front. And like I said, I did use the Dexter Luminol highlighter. Listen, this is going to last me for the rest of my life. If it didn't expire, I could probably hand it down to the grandkids. Like, it's a lot of product, but it's so freaking good. It's so good. I so recommend it. I've gotten so much use out of it now. I love it so much. And then the same products I always use for brows, which is the Patrick Ta Brow Lamination. And then my two Benefit pencils. These are the Precisely My Brow and then the My Brow Detailer. I always link everything down below though if you guys are more curious about what is on my face. So I primed my eyes again with the Sigma eyeshadow base primer in the shade Persuade. So far, I am enjoying that product as well. Okay, so for lips, I did the Revlon Color Stay Longwear Lip Liner in the shade Mauve. I really love this. I bought it off of your guys' recommendation. One of you guys recommended it to me, and this is my second one. So that was a freaking great recommendation. And I did the same lip product that I did yesterday, the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm Shimmer in the shade Cosmic, and I'm enjoying that as well. Also, I wore that makeup look for a really long time, so I had no issues with fading or anything like that, which I didn't expect I would because I'd never have with this brand. But I wanted to tell you guys, those liners stayed in my waterline, which makes me so happy. I had to like clean out my waterline. Like, they're really good. So I'm hoping that the other colors will be just as good, but we will see. So, I'm going to take the Singe Beauty E06. I keep going back and forth. I would love to do like a green and blue look. I think that would be really pretty, but something is pulling me more towards this cool tone blue, and I want to do that. So, it's called Watery Grave, and we're going to do that on this E06 from Singe Beauty. And I am just going to pat this all in the crease, kind of sloppily. Guys, it's been such a crazy day, and it sucks because I really can't talk about it, but it's just been a crazy day. It was like 70 degrees yesterday, and now it's like really cold, and there's crazy winds. I think there's a storm coming through, which sucks. You know, I miss the warm weather. Now I'm gonna switch over to this brush. It's the E08 from Singe. So I just uploaded my video with the Morally Grey collection from Bella Beauty Bar, which I know is super late, and my views are kind of down on it, which I knew that was going to happen. It's because I posted it so late. I actually forgot that I didn't post it, and I saw it one day like sitting in my list of videos. I was like, oh my god. But I did post that today, and in that video at the end, I do talk about the Singe Beauty brushes and like which ones are my favorite and what I use them for, how I use them, and all of those things. So if you find yourself needing some help with that, I do touch base on that. And I know when I was first getting into like beauty and the YouTube world, like watching videos and stuff, I wished I could find more about brushes, because there are so many different brushes, so many different types, and you really gotta, there's a learning curve there where you gotta try to learn what works for you. And it was hard to find anything that really talked about that, I felt like, on YouTube, which is why I did want to talk about it. So I'm switching over to this brush. It's the E25 from Sigma, and I'm going back into Watery Grave. I will tell you, this Sigma eye primer grips the eyeshadow. It really does. I did put on less today, so it's a lot easier today. I think I put on too much yesterday. Oh, I wanted to do the highlighter. I knew I was forgetting something. So I'm going to do this one. No one butta. See, you guys, my ADHD brain is literally like all over the place. It's insane sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm gonna use my F03 High Cheekbone Highlighter brush from Sigma. I love this highlighting brush. It's like the perfect, you know, I was gonna swatch these two, wasn't I? But it's like the perfect shape and has like the perfect amount of density. And honey, I really didn't need any more highlighter, but she is very glowy. I'm gonna have to like add some more blush up in the mix. So these are like really glowy. I'm not gonna say they're like completely smooth because it doesn't look like they are, and that's me saying so, you know, without using them by themselves. I will be testing them more in other videos and I'll let you guys know how I feel about them. But they do have like those very fine micro glitters. Like it's very wet looking. That's so pretty. I will link these down below for you guys too. I'll try to find out where they're cheaper. I bought them off the NYX site, and sometimes I feel like you can get better deals buying off the site, but I mean, you just got to decide what's best for you, but I'll try to link the cheapest place to get them. This is the shade Butter Than Gold, which is really pretty too. Look at that. That would be so gorgeous on a warmer skin tone, but you know me, I'm going to try to make it work. And this would be a really good shade too for inner corner. Had a brain lapse. Ooh, this one is so good. So this is Buttermint. Those are gorgeous. You know what they remind me of? The Unearthly Cosmetics highlighters. Kind of like the Unearthly Low Light formula, if you are familiar with that. The texture of it also reminds me of the Glam Light Friday the 13th highlighter, Jason Lives, I think. It reminds me of that as well. It's a very smooth formula, but I mean, she is high shine. So I'm just building this shade up in the crease, and then I'll use something to help blend it out a little more. I do want to take some of this to the lower lash line as well. I'm going to start out with the E11 from Singe and go back into Watery Grave, and I'll take this around the lower lash line. Prance would be such a good liner for this, the one from ColourPop. But I do want to try to use the ones from Glisten for a little while. Like, just solely use them so I can really gather my thoughts on them. But I'm so excited to be here creating this look. And after this, I do plan on doing new makeup releases. Let's hope it works out and I get to, but we will see. I'm switching over to the E05. It's a little more like fluffy, but it's really small. I love this little brush. It's really great for like smaller details and stuff. Okay, so I think that's good. It's a good start. So the question is, I'm going back and forth, like which color I want to use. I know I want to use the deep blue and maybe some of this, but I want to do something else for like the crease situation. So I was thinking about maybe doing some of the shade Beckon or this shade. Either one will take this look in a completely different direction, but I think I want to do purple. I could be wrong, but it feels like it's been a while since I've done anything with purple. So I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to clean off the E06 and go into Beckon. Just kind of do the same thing with this. Ooh, it's going to give me like that blurple color. It's going to be so fun. But I just want to pat this throughout the crease. I think I told you guys yesterday I restarted the Crave series, and I'm like so sucked in, already in love with all of the characters again. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that I watched Betty Jean's video. She was talking about it. It was either her reading wrap up or she was like picking out her books to read for the month. I would like to do reading wrap up, like get ready with me and talk about like what I've read and what my favorite things are. I mean, I know a lot of people are doing it right now, but it's like my two loves coming together. I would love to know like what you guys think of it, if you would watch a video like that. But I'm going to switch over to the E27 from Sigma. It's a little more dense and flat, so I can pack the color on and blend it. It's one of my favorite little brushes. And I love the color that it's giving me. I'm not gonna lie though, I am so kind of sad that I don't get to use this shade in one of these looks. And I feel like this one would go so good with it, but I know I used it yesterday. This top one would be really pretty as well. I don't know what I'm gonna go with though. I also want to use this one, Her Prey. That could be good if you had like a peach to add to the inner corner, like a peach matte to really give it a pop, and then put this on the lid with like this in the back. I think that could be cool. It's very odd, but it might still be like really pretty. Okay, so I'm also going to take the E11 and go into that same like dark purple, and I do want to run it along the lower lash line. This is giving Siren vibes and I love it. It's been so long, I feel like, since I've done a blue and purple look, and I always forget how much I love these two colors together. I think they're so pretty. I wish I had like a lighter color for the inner corner, but I know this palette, it wasn't made to be that, so I get it, but I do wish it was there. I'm just trying to blend that out and fade it so it's not so dark. So I'm gonna dip in to the Charlotte Tilbury powder on my E27 and just use it to kind of lighten the color, or at least I'm hoping to where it kind of fades better, you know what I mean? Then I'm going to take this brush, the E05, and go back into that like cool tone blue shade and blend the purple out. I do want it to kind of come down. Okay, so you kind of get that like pop of purple here. I do want to deepen it up, and I have some options. So, what do I want to start with? I'm going to use the E27, and we're going to go into Abyss. I love like a, did I even show it to you? Probably not. This shade, Abyss. But I just love a deep dark blue. It's one of the colors that's done in my living room. Like deep navy. And I love it. But we're probably getting ready to change everything. And I think we're going to go with like, right now we have a gray couch. Listen, we bought so much furniture from Value City 2 years ago. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. And our couch is broke. The chair is broke. Like almost everything we got is broke, which is insane. We've only had it like, we got it in October 2 years ago, so it's barely over 2 years old and all of it's broke. It's absolutely crazy. I switched over to this, but we're probably going to change it to a brown. And I'm thinking of doing like a really deep green with like neutral pops, you know, like khakis or like mustardy yellows for pops. I think it's going to be so cute. I'm really excited. We're going couch shopping soon if I can make time for it, but I'm excited. It's ridiculous though, like to pay that much for something and it not even last that long. And the bad thing is, like, we bought like 4-year protection on it, but we both have such bad phone anxiety that we have not called and said anything, which is completely our fault, obviously. But if you don't have telephobia, you just really couldn't like understand how hard it is. I'm going back into the purple on the E08. And I'm just going to tap this kind of over the edges and use it to help me blend this out. I definitely don't want to lose that purple color. I think I need something a little more precise though, so I'm going to switch over to the E06 after I throw it and then pick it back up. Okay, so cleaning off the E11, I do want to go into the shade Tempt, and I'm going to do just a little bit of that right here on the very outer corner. That way it kind of blends up into the top part of the, you know, the wing situation. It's really pretty, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss my two-tone looks. It's harder to do it with a palette this dark though. So I'm just trying to do two tones in a different way with this one, but I do miss them. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with some Diveroon Stick and Sparkle. And I like to just swipe it on the back of my hand and then put it on with my finger. Sometimes I use my E55 from Sigma when I want to be a little more precise, but today we're just doing it like this. Okay, I think I figured this out. So this look is going to be kind of monochromatic. At least I think it will turn out that way, which I don't mind, but you guys know I love like an eye look with a twist. And I feel like this one won't have a twist, but it's still going to be beautiful. We're going to go in with pulled under. I don't know if I showed you. I'm very bad about that. Sometimes I'm editing my videos and just like rolling my eyes like, what are you doing? But I'm just tapping that out here, which I do think that vibes like really well with this. So next I want to go into the shade here called Abyss. It is so freaking beautiful. It has like a really pretty like duochrome flip, and I think it's stunning, and it would be stunning with this look. So I'm going to tap it slightly over that deep shade that I placed there and most of the way over. See what I mean though about the monochromatic parts? It is very. Okay, so for the inner corner, I want to use this shade right here, Lull and Slay. It's really pretty. I think I used it in the last look, but I'm going to use the MAC Fix Plus Stayover, and I just picked it up on my E01. Give it a spray, and then use this for the inner corner, but I'm still going to have to go in with something else because it's just not light enough. And with the shades I use and my under eyes being so dark right now, it's making them look darker. I feel like I do need some brightness. A palette not having a light shade in it isn't a deal breaker for me. More than anything, I need a palette to have a deepening up shade. That's like my favorite part, but I know I can easily pull in stuff from my collection, but I do like to let you guys know what's in the palette and what it's missing in case you are like on the fence or something. Just want to, you know, give you my thoughts. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull in my Blend Bunny Noctilucent palette. It's one of my favorites for inner corner highlights. They are so beautiful. They're gorgeous highlighters as well, but they are kind of glittery. So if you're not into that, then you might not like these, but I love them. So if I did one, it would be one of these. I think I might go with the one on top, which is the shade Apparition, I think. My words are like kind of smeared and coming off because she is used. Yeah, you see what I mean? I feel like that really just brightened up the whole eye. But this is the eye. I'm going to go finish this up off camera and figure out which liner I'm going to use, but I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look and give you my thoughts on this palette. I am back with the finished look, and I love the way this turned out. It's a bit toned down for me, I feel like, but I did use this shade in the inner corner. It added a little bit of that like minty aspect to it, and I like that a lot. So I was going to use one of the new Glisten liners, but there was no way I could not use Prance from ColourPop. It just goes so well with this look, especially the shimmer. Like, they're the exact same shade, so I really had to go with it. I think Icebreaker would have went really good with this one too, because it's that like more minty shade. Here is Icebreaker. That one's really pretty too. I also have Big Splash. Honestly, either one of them could have went really well, especially because they're bright. Like this blue one would have been really pretty, but Prance was perfect for it as well. I'll link them down below though in case you guys are interested. I did use the Maybelline Firework Mascara again too, and the Lush Lashes from Bright Lashes. I ate dinner while I was off camera and I got so tired. Now I'm just ready to like wash this off and go to bed instead of filming the new makeup releases, which I know I'm going to regret later, but it's like 10 o'clock and I am so freaking tired. So overlook me, but I did want to talk to you guys about the palette. The packaging on this is so freaking stunning, and I say a lot that the packaging really doesn't matter to me as long as what's inside of it is good, but I can't lie, it does add extra excitement when you see a palette this gorgeous, like their faces being holographic and raised. It's just so freaking stunning. And again, I really love this color story. I feel like their shimmers are getting better and better, and it makes me so excited. I do love their matte formula, and I like their shimmer formula. It's not my favorite, but it is a really, really good one, which is why I love trying out their releases. I think they're fantastic. But like I mentioned earlier, this palette is so freaking heavy, but it is magnetic. I think I found my magnet. I did. See, so you could switch it around and do all of the things. I personally don't like to do that because I'm afraid I can't put them back where they go, especially when a brand doesn't put the shade name on the back of the pan. But those are just my thoughts. These are just my first impressions of the palette, but I do think it is very good quality so far, and I'm so happy that I picked it up. I like both looks, but I think the first one is my favorite. This one feels a little too monochromatic for me, but that's my fault, and I do think it's beautiful still. Very shimmery and glittery and glitzy and gorgeous. Also, for the glisten liners, you will have to stay tuned through all of my videos. I will try to gather my thoughts on them as quick as I can. I mean, there's several shades, so it might take me a little while, but so far, so good. I'm so excited that I picked them up because the shade that I used yesterday, which was the light blue, was really, really good. So I'm excited. Let me know if you guys picked up the liners or the palette. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of the looks and which one was your favorite. But thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. It really does mean a lot. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and that really does help a lot. But until next time, bye.